Hello and welcome to Cutting the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben. As always, I'm hanging out with Mike.
Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
And P.
Yo.
Today's topic, we're talking about me.
What?
The
Antichrist.
The Antichrist. No, not really. I'm not the Antichrist. I'm just a close personal friend.
I'm recording on Valentine's Day.
Recording on Valentine's Day.
Did you get your toad in the hole, anybody?
No. No.
Just another year of wanking and crying.
Pam and her 5 friends.
I find that the tears make good lubricant.
A teary wank. Nothing wrong with a teary wank.
I go up market now, use a sock. Just ease you. Anyway, before we start talking about the Antichrist, let's thank some new and returning listeners. I'll read out some of the ones that jump out at me.
It's the top 50.
Top 50, ooh. Dessin in the Czech Republic, Durban in South Africa, Hanoi in Vietnam, Shrewsbury in the United Kingdom, just up the road from us, Berlin in Germany, Oslo in Norway, Frankfurt am Main, Dusseldorf, get quite the German following, Depok in Indonesia, Kolkata in India, Wigan in the United Kingdom, Carlsbad, California in the United States, there's one in Georgia, Tbilisi in Georgia, Warsaw in Poland, Marseille, France, Lapanau in Poland, I think that's how you say it, Lapanov, maybe there's no W's, is there, in Polish, Atlanta, Georgia, Dublin, Ireland, Petrosani in Romania, Boardman, Oregon in the United States, Madrid, Spain, Bengaluru in India, Guadalajara, Spain, and Ashburn, Virginia, top. Thank you very much.
Guys.
Yep.
Keep listening. Tell your friends.
Tell more than one.
Yep.
Everyone should have one friend, or at least two. That's what we call a result. So the Antichrist. I've listened to a lot of Christians this week.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is that why you look so sad?
Yeah. It's been building this rage and fury inside me. Hearing the godly speak just does that to me.
And there's that funny birthmark you got on the back of your neck. It kind of looks, it's like 6. It's been glowing anyway. That must be what it is then.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why I can't go to churches anymore. Everything sets on fire.
Your numbers aren't 666, are they? They're 333.
I'm 333.
You're half
I'm half the
He's the Antichrist gimp.
I'd like to think cousin.
I was going to say bitch, but
Chief eunuch of the Antichrist.
Why eunuch? What is with you and eunuchs?
Red dwarf, isn't it?
I know, but I think you want to be a eunuch.
I am. Penis is another dimension.
Oh yeah.
Join me.
He's having a great time. The Antichrist, the polar opposite and ultimate enemy of Christ. According to Christian tradition, he will reign terribly. That's open to interpretation, I think.
has he ever appeared though? There's been a lot of talk about him, isn't there?
Well, they've been waiting for him for 2,000 years, mate. He ain't turned up yet.
We'll get into
Jesus, though, I suppose.
We'll get into who the candidates are at the end.
Yeah. He will reign terribly in the period prior to the Last Judgment. Now, if you're an evangelical, you're going to think that last Judgment is the rapture. And to put it in a nutshell...
Is that what's going on now?
all of the godly will be literally just transported straight up to heaven, regardless of what they may be doing at the time. Could be flying a plane.
Obviously not committing a sin, I imagine.
No, obviously not. They're committing a sin.
Well, it depends what they actually count as a sin, doesn't it? Who knows?
Well, there's over 600 commandments, so who does know?
Well, in that case, I don't think anyone's getting raptured.
This is the problem, isn't it?
It's like one blind nun in Argentina, and that's it. It's like, just lived a pious life. She's the only one out of everybody.
What about
We're all going to burn in hell.
bloody pedo priests and that? What happens to them?
Well, they burn in hell, don't they?
No.
Unless they repent.
This is kind
Gotta
of my.
repent.
This is my point.
Gotta
Just
repent.
Just to repent, and then that's it.
Yeah.
If you're
Literally
repent,
buggering a boy at the time of the rapture, and if he just says, "Oh, I'll repent all this," and I assume he goes to.
I think you've got to have a priest. you've got to have a priest there to absolve you. In
You're
Catholicism.
the priest buggering the other child.
Absolve me! High-fiving each other, going, "You're absolved, bitch! Yeah!"
Yeah. But yeah, because in the Bible it says, what you hold true on earth, I will hold true in heaven. So the whole repent loophole gets you in.
Once you've said it, you have to.
But you've got to be
basically
absolved.
stand by it whilst you're up in heaven.
That's only
essentially.
Catholics, so Protestants.
That's only
are fucked.
Catholics. Protestants, we're fucked. We don't get that. Well, I don't get anything. I don't believe in it, so it's all a bunch of fairy tales to me. The term Antichrist first appeared in the letters of John 2:18, 2:22 and 4:3-2 and John 1:7. The fully developed story of the Antichrist's life and reign is found in medieval texts, which means that it's got no water to hold at all because it's the medieval period and not the biblical period, even though the Bible was just written by multiple people over the course of many years and collated at the
People have ingested ergot.
people that have ingested ergot, like St. John the Divine, who wrote the Book of Revelations. Interestingly, to point out that the actual format of the Bible and Christ's divinity wasn't decided on until the 1500s at the Council of Nicaea. So until then, Jesus was just a dude. And then they made him divine.
Well, he was a dude. He was a real person, wasn't
Nah,
he?
he wasn't.
Well, there's
No,
debate.
they do reckon he was a real person. Whether or
They-
not.
based
They-
on
Well, yeah.
Who is they?
But well, even
Scholars, I
I'm going
suppose,
back
but-
to when I was in the Navy and we had to go to church on a Sunday morning in basic training. It was part of that kind of basic
you didn't wanna
training.
go?
You do what you didn't have a choice.
I mean, like, sorry, I don't believe in that.
even if
You
you're
had to go
atheist,
to-
you had to go.
the Church of Scotland where they didn't, do much praying and that lot and hymns.
You had to go to church either
I haven't
way.
even been baptised.
We had to have the odd lesson about it as well, like where we'd sit. I can't really remember the whole point, but they were talking about Jesus and they were saying, well, look, we understand in the church that Jesus wasn't what maybe people think he was, but he was a real person.
Well, they're going to say that.
The story of Jesus is based
Of course
on
they
a
are.
real person. Yeah, I know, but from what I gather, he was a real person.
Mate, where do you
Who
think they
couldn't-
found 4 people called Matthew, Mark, Luke and John trotting around the Middle East?
Well, that's a good point. It is a good point. There is some good points in that,
You know,
isn't there?
they will tell you, the religious people will tell you who are trying
Well,
to get your
yeah.
interest. Which, oh yeah, he's based on a bit of a person. Yeah. You don't
Yeah, I
want
go
that.
as far as that. I go as far as it may have been based
But he
on...
never claimed that he was reborn or all that kind of bullshit. And he always said, like, yeah, he was just a normal guy that got people to listen to him.
He apparently died for my sins and came back 3 days later, which
Apparently-
I think is bullshit.
Apparently,
Obviously.
he spent a lot of time with the Buddha.
Again, very loosely.
And
But
apparently
he
he went
was
to England
fucking
as well,
healer
spent
though, wasn't
time
he?
in... I'm sure it was like Salisbury or something.
He's doing some getting about for fucking 33 AD, isn't he? Because no one knows anything from Jesus' life from birth until he's
I think-
33.
Yeah, and I think there's some people were saying there's some evidence that there's some guy called Jesus that met with the Buddha and spent time in England.
Well, he
or
was a
something.
healer, wasn't he?
I don't know
That's
how
all
true
he
it
was. He was a healer, which is why he worked with the lepers and things like
I
that.
think he was just more of a philosopher.
So Mary
Bit
and
like the Buddha.
Joseph hid him for 33 years.
No, there's just nothing in the Bible that says what happened from when Christ was born to when he was 33, when he was
It's a
30.
good point, actually, because why would there be nothing... This little fucking boy that was born over the star, blah, 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 immaculate conception, blah, blah, blah. How come he went straight off the radar? All of a
Well,
sudden...
if you spent time wondering about in India and things, then
yeah,
That
but
was off the radar.
that does
Yeah,
explain the missing years as such. If he did grow up and go to India and became a healer and a teacher and blah blah blah, that's fine. But
if you got the nativity, so you got the nativity version of it, yeah? He was born in a barn, the wise men, etc., etc. If he was so famous, even on his day of birth, how was he completely unfollowed? And I know we didn't have social media back then, and we didn't have paparazzi, but there
all
would
this
have
was
been
put in
some...
after, once he's been made a deity and stuff, isn't it?
yeah, this is why they picked the 4 books of the Council of Nicaea that supported that backstory.
Yeah,
because there's dozens of books that could have gone in the
It just
Bible.
goes to prove, though, that the whole nativity side of it is complete bullshit.
Well, the
'Cause even
Bible-
if he was that, if he had such
Notorious.
Notoriety.
notoriety
Famous.
at that point,
Yeah.
he would have been followed
But the Bible
throughout
wasn't
his life.
written at the time of Jesus. It was written
No.
how many years
Well,
after?
yeah, yeah.
200, is it?
Yeah, God, yeah, more probably.
200, 400 years,
I
something.
mean,
Yeah.
some of the original writings are there and ancient and old, but none of them really mention the story we've got today.
Do you know what? To be honest with you, I've never believed any of it. My personal choice. I know everyone has their own beliefs, but I've always kind of thought it was a load of nonsense. So I've never taken too much of an interest in it. But
I think
you
there's a
hear
lot of good
snippets,
stuff
don't you?
in the New Testament, more than the Old Testament. I've no time for whatsoever.
I couldn't tell you the difference. You could probably
Basically, when
hit me
Jesus
with,
comes into it,
hit me with both books, and I wouldn't know which one was which.
basically what Jesus says, I think is good stuff.
Yeah, be
Most of
kind,
it. Not
be
all of it.
nice.
A lot of it.
Do
Yeah.
do
I don't
unto
know.
you as you want to do to others, or I don't know,
I
whatever.
think, technically, I think Jesus, if let's say the biblical Jesus was real, he was a pretty cool dude. He wasn't about hating. He wasn't about any
It's
of
like
that.
Gandhi.
He was about.
Well, I don't know.
feeding-
Gandhi was a bit of a fucking sus. Yeah.
He was a bit of a Robin Hood. He feed the poor and
Yeah.
all right. Maybe he didn't rob the rich that we know about.
Now, Jesus and his merry men would have been a much more fucking better
Yeah.
story. Yeah, man.
Oh, Robin Hood and the Holy Grail or something. I don't know.
But the Christian conception of Antichrist was derived from Jewish traditions, particularly the book of Daniel in the Hebrew Bible, which is kind of like the Old Testament.
Jack Daniel.
I didn't. It doesn't say Jack Daniel. You
The book of
drunken.
Daniel.
Alka Frolic. Daniel's like, Jack Daniel, drink!
No, the book of Daniels will be a lot better.
Yeah, it'd be a much more interesting read.
Now, this was written about 167 BC, and it foretold the coming of a final persecutor who would speak great words against the Most High and wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. That's Daniel 7:25.
Why is it always loads of numbers?
That just tells
Is
you
that like
what chapter it is
the
and what
chapter and
verse
verse?
it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly what it
It's
is.
just something I've never understood. It's like
I've never read
John
the Bible, but I've seen it that many times. I
74.63
just
and
assumed
no,
that's,
It's no Austin 3:16. Arrive, raise hell, leave. Because Stone Cold said so. Now, scholars agree that the author of Daniel was alluding to the contemporary Hellenistic ruler of Palestine, Antiochus IV Epiphanes, who attempted to extirpate Judaism. I'm guessing that means that's not good for the Jews.
you couldn't say that sentence 5 times quickly, could you?
Certainly couldn't. But because Antiochus was not named, later readers could apply the prediction in Daniel to any persecutor. Early Christians applied it to the Roman emperors who persecuted the church, in particular Nero.
Yeah.
Nero is thought to be the whole book of the Revelations, St. John the Divine, basically an old man on an island eating a shit ton of ergot.
No, not the guy out of Matrix, though.
No. And was ranting at the sky, who wrote the book of Revelations. Yeah, he was on about Nero, probably, more than likely. So the 4 books of the New Testament that fueled Christian belief in the Antichrist were the first 2 epistles of John, the Revelation to John, and the second letter of Paul to the Thessalonians. The first 3 of these were written near the end of the 1st century, and the last was written either by St. Paul the Apostle shortly after 50 AD, or by one of Paul's immediate disciples some 20 or 30 years later. Neither 2 Thessalonians nor Revelation uses the term Antichrist, worth pointing that out, but both works refer to a coming persecutor who is evidently the same person. Now, some Christians will tell you that there's been an Antichrist for every generation, they just haven't succeeded.
I see.
But what's the point of an Antichrist without Christ?
Well, it's like Hogan without Randy Savage. It's like
you know
Ronaldo
what I
without
mean,
Messi. You need that sparring partner, don't you?
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, fair enough. If Jesus, like South Park, yeah? Jesus was living amongst us, like on South Park, then yeah, fair enough, you could...
He's got a talk show.
There'd be a bit more weight on the fact that there could be
Well,
the
they believe
opposite
that
of
Jesus
him.
is with you at all times.
So does that mean the Antichrist is with you at all
That's
times?
what they're
as
saying
well?
every generation, yeah.
Yeah, so it's always there.
But if it was like South Park and Jesus had his own talk show and he had the halo and the robes and he's like, hey, you're talking to Jesus, then there'd be no atheists. We'd all be Christians because
Yeah, there'd be no other religions.
the proof is literally right there in front of me.
Nah, you'd still get the people that are just like totally, nah, I'm not having it.
Oh,
sort
well,
of.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but then he cures their ailments, Claire. Like they go, oh, my Gary Neal, all of a sudden it's better. Yep. Thank you very
It
much.
starts walking on water.
Yeah, then
You're
you're
going to
gonna
get some believers then, aren't you?
You know, even I'm gonna go, maybe I should pay more attention to this religion thing at that point.
So does that mean we should all start worshipping Dynamo then? the magician.
No, because he just had glass planes.
I know, pretty obvious, but he walked on water.
But when he's knocking 5 loaves and fishes into feeding 5,000 people, then we can...
Well, didn't he do that as well? He held a bucket with... He had like a fish or something in a bucket, and he started tipping the bucket, and literally like a couple of £100 worth of fish fell out the bucket.
Did he then give that an end world poverty and hunger? Where is he now, solving world hunger?
He did for this little African village for a couple of days at least.
It's a magic bucket, Pete.
I know, it was all camera trickery, obviously.
Now, the first epistle of John introduces an important distinction between the Antichrist who will come and the many Antichrists who are already active in the world. And this distinction not only enabled believers to denigrate contemporaries as Antichrists without having to label a single individual as the Antichrist, but allowed them to identify a body of Antichrists, a collectivity existing in the present, but destined to have its day of triumph in the future. So there's like a council of Antichrists and the Antichrist.
Well, it does make sense, I suppose, because to be an Antichrist, you just have to be everything against that Jesus is for.
Well, shit, I've come up with a theory then.
What?
This is going to blow all your minds. I know who the Antichrist is.
Whose phone was that?
Santa Claus.
Not mine.
Santa Claus must be the Antichrist.
Santa Satan.
Because if you think about it, right,
Get real.
Yeah, everyone knows that, Pete.
Anagram of Satan, isn't it?
oh yeah,
Where's Red?
not
Yeah.
just that. It was the fact
Corrupts
that he's got
kids.
he's got his followers who embody the spirit of Santa and dress up as Santa, and he's all over the place, kind of thing. There's many of him, but
I
they're
see
not
where you're coming
actually
from.
Santa.
I see where you're
They're
coming from.
like
Kids
the
worship
embodiment
Santa, don't they?
of Santa.
Worshipping another idol other than God.
So, with the fact that, yes, Satan is an anagram of Santa, something I've never thought about until I just
There
heard
you
that
go.
sentence there and thought, well, there you go. It's ruined my whole childhood now.
He slammed his phone down on the sofa then. Ruined everything there. Turns
That's
out
what this pod does to you.
I was worshipping Satan all along.
It's right though, isn't it? The kids worship Santa.
Kids worship Satan, yeah.
Mine would.
Yeah. But, you know, they're meant to be worshipping God. He's taking kids away from God, isn't he?
And more. Do you know what?
So
The more
technically,
you think
what,
about
though?
it,
The
yeah.
more you think about that, that is like a fucking... Oh my god, because that would be the perfect way of... You indoctrinate them from a young
Yeah.
age, so
And
that's...
it's all about what I can get, what I
Because
can
it's
get
no
from Santa.
longer the birth of Jesus, it's...
But Jesus is
Where's
all about...
Santa, my presents?
Yeah, Jesus is all about...
Capitalism, isn't it? That's
It's
it.
greed.
Jesus is all about giving to the poor. That's what Christmas is about. You're meant to think about those that are worse off than you. That's
And
what it's fundamental belief of Christianity.
you know,
Christmas.
last Christmas there I was down at the leper farm healing lepers.
Think how many sins come around Christmas Day as well.
Well, it's
You've
not
got
even
the
that. just-
gluttony, the greed.
Yeah. Take the big one. What's the big commandment? Thou shalt not worship any other idols than me, your God. Well, at Christmas you're worshipping Santa. There you go, it's a false idol. Boom, straight, that's
But
hell
is that
straight away.
then where the whole Saint Nicholas comes in? Because
Nah,
but
he's-
it's alright, he's a saint.
They only made him a saint just to, capitalise more on it, get more people involved.
That's it, makes it. But then again, if you want to go really back, I mean, Christmas is just Yule, pagan Yule. And they had more fun, they had a fire and they had orgies and everything, it was great.
It lasted for about 7 months. No shit.
Should
It did.
so be a pagan.
The build up to it was a
Yeah.
wobbler, you know.
It started just after Halloween, I think, and it went into February. Good 6 months.
Obviously, you wouldn't have the feasting and the orgies every night, but you'd have it around the 25th of December.
I
which is
fucking
coincident.
would. I would if I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Whether there could be some connection there. And if not,
Valid point. It's a valid point. Now, nevertheless, early Christians tended to emphasise the coming of the one great Antichrist,
the actual Santa.
the anti-Santa. The revelation to John refers to this figure as the beast from the abyss and the beast from the sea.
Beast from the abyss.
The beast, because the Antichrist is the beast, and you get the mark of the beast. We'll get into that shortly. And that's 666, number of the beast.
And the beast,
Iron Maiden, anybody?
beast we can see. We might have
Iron
it totally
Maiden.
wrong. It might not be all like flames. It might all be like, you know, Davy Jones's locker, innit?
It's a valid point. Could be anything. In the most sustained account of the Antichrist appearance, 2 Thessalonians 2:1-12, he is called the man of sin and a son of perdition. He will come at a time of general apostasy and deceive people with signs and wonders, sit in the temple of God and claim to be God himself.
Apostasy means not many believers.
So
Which is now, really, isn't it? Because
I'm going to go back to Santa on that.
certainly in this country, Christianity is definitely decreasing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think the
Probably
vision is
worldwide.
on its way out worldwide.
Yeah,
gradually. It's
worldwide.
obviously some regions are a bit more religious than
I don't
others.
know about
In the West, it certainly is.
that. In the West, maybe.
Yeah.
It's interesting that that's one of the things the Antichrist is going to do. People seem to think he's going to be a politician.
Trump?
We'll get to that.
We'll get that.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
And he's going to, because he'll come from nowhere, and he's going to find this movement, he's going to have followers, and he's going to rebuild the Temple of Jerusalem, which is a big thing, biblically, because it was destroyed. Now, Temple Mount in Jerusalem is also the Shrine of the Rock, which is the most holy place, one of the most holy places in Islam. So to put a whopping great Jewish temple on top of that is not going to go down well. Pretty going to cause a war, that one, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But he's going to sit there and he's basically going to declare himself God. He's going to take you away from believing in God, although saying that if the rapture's happened and those that are left behind, we're going to follow this guy because he's offering us a better alternative than the one we've just come from.
Yeah.
So the rapture's happened, there's got loads that are left behind that don't believe, although if the rapture happens I'm probably going to start believing.
Does
Aren't
rapture
you?
happen before the Antichrist?
Yes, because you have 7 years of turmoil there.
Ah.
How many years have we had turmoil?
Someone better check on that blind nun, hadn't they? In Argentina?
Seems alright.
See, she hasn't been raptured.
Yeah, she's just disappeared. Oh, shit.
Oh shit, indeed.
So
You
the
can't
rest
just
of us...
start believing and then you'll just get raptured, Ben.
No, but at that point there's empirical evidence, isn't there? Is if like, I don't know, one of you guys, for example, is a true believer, and you just literally float through the ceiling, a beam of light comes down, a heavenly chorus, and you're just all of a sudden nude and floating up, right? Then I'm going to go, well, shit me, looks like I backed the wrong horse, haven't I? Let's face it.
Start saying the Lord's Prayer.
I can still remember it, that's the worst thing. Been drilled into me at school.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's my point. Literally, 7 years of turmoil and tribulations, and then the Antichrist comes about. He rises to power, and then he starts his whole global plan. And then Jesus will turn up. The medieval view of Antichrist, communicated by Adzo, Riplin, and a host of other writers, those are monks, by the way. These are medieval monks who are writing on the treatise of the Antichrist.
Pissed as farts all day long.
Probably, yeah.
That's all I'm saying about that.
It all rested on the principle that the Antichrist is the parodic opposite of Christ in all things. So Antichrist literally means opposed to Christ. So thus as Christ was born of a virgin by means of conception by the Holy Spirit, so the Antichrist will be born of a whore by means of conception by a diabolical spirit. It sounds fucking awesome to me. What a night that sounds.
I always thought the Antichrist was like the complete opposite of Christ. So God created Jesus in Mary's belly.
Yep.
So the devil
Yeah, the diabolical spirit.
raped some woman or whatever.
Whore, yeah.
Now, but then you have
Yeah,
this,
so that's kind of what I always thought
you have
was
the
that.
Scarlet Woman, who Crowley was always trying to find, is the one that will give birth to the Antichrist. I mean, L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons, NASA rocket scientists, did the Babylon ritual, which was supposed to bring about the Scarlet Woman, who will give birth to the Antichrist. It's all, I think it's all about the vessel.
You ever seen Rosemary's Baby?
No.
Oh man, that years ago.
Yeah, it's a creepy film.
Yeah.
It's good. 60s, there's like,
60s horror
This
films
bloke-
were creepy.
lets his wife be impregnated by the devil, and she's raising the kid. The Antichrist doesn't know about it, and they're drugging her and stuff. Him and the neighbours, they're Satanists, and yeah.
Interesting.
Mia Farrow, I think, it's a pretty good film.
Does she get her boobs out?
Possibly, I can't remember.
No, she was hot in her day.
Mia Farrow
wasn't
was
she?
pretty hot in her day,
She was
yeah.
hot in her day. They always liked a bit of boobage in them kind of 60s, early 70s kind of films, didn't they?
There's always a pair of tits, or at least a suggestion of them.
Yeah.
Heaving bosom.
That's what
Exactly.
we'll have to watch that.
Hammer horror, basically, wasn't it? It was just all heaving bosoms.
You only watch films that have got brief nudities.
Obviously. What's the point in turning the telly on if there's no tits?
You know, there's this thing called the internet.
That's what I mean. Is YouPorn not the only channel out there?
It's top of starts. Well, it was. Remember that?
Oh my god.
Yeah, Channel
15,
5.
16 years old. Like, whoa!
Challenge TV.
It wasn't Channel 9, it was, yeah.
Yeah,
What's
it was,
Challenge
wasn't it?
TV?
Challenge TV.
Topless
Bloody
Stars.
hell.
Topless.
It was about 10 o'clock when it Topless Starts would come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do all throw
Oh, it was all, and
three
they
darts.
I'll say they never actually threw darts at the dartboard that you saw because you never saw them play darts. You
You
saw
did.
them pretend to
You
throw some darts.
sometimes you saw a back view because they had
Yeah.
bongs on too.
I mean, they weren't like Eric Bristow level.
No, well, no, but there was a lot of editing. A lot of editing in that. Let's face it.
I just remember the bouncing.
Yeah.
I just remember the tits more than anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't really that concerned with the
That
darts,
was
to be
the
honest.
whole
Pete.
point. I know that was the whole point. But me being me, super competitive Pete. Who won? Who fucking won? I want to know who won.
Pete can tell you who won every match of Topless Stars since 1997.
Yep. I have my skills.
And what cup she was as well.
What colour thong she
Pamela
was
B
wearing.
cup.
Jordan first made her appearance on there when she was actually really nice.
When she hadn't had a...
When she hadn't had loads of surgery. She was gorgeous back in the day.
I mean, Katie Price.
Yes,
That's what she goes as now,
Yeah.
isn't she? Anyway, from one Antichrist to another, 'cause I can
Yeah.
believe Katie Price is the Antichrist. Opinions differ as to whether the Antichrist's father will be a man or demon. In either case, the Antichrist, as commonly noted in the Middle Ages, will be full of the devil from the time of his conception. Now,
People
both...
have seen Omen, haven't they?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. The original was brilliant.
Yeah.
The remake wasn't too bad.
I don't think I saw the
Haven't seen
remake.
no.
Not the worst.
Some Christians dispute this, but both Christ and the Antichrist are born of the Jewish people, the tribe of Dan, also known as the viper in the road, that's from Genesis 49:17, rather than the true tribe of Judea, and in Babylon, not Bethlehem. Like Christ, the Antichrist will grow up in his obscurity and begin his open ministry at age 30, gaining followers by giving signs and performing miracles. The signs and miracles, once more, are polar opposites of Christ, because the Antichrist supposed miracles will only be tricks, so he's going to give you leprosy.
He's going to steal your bread and your fish.
Yeah, he's going to steal your bread and your fish, give you leprosy, take your eyes. And he won't be able to knock up a chair, he'll be a terrible carpenter.
Yeah. He can walk on the seabed though.
True, no one can walk on the seabed better than him.
When the tide's out, doesn't count.
The Antichrist's triumphant reign never clearly distinguished from the start of his ministry in the Bible. Presumably it's going to take him a few years to get into it. You get the followers, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's all about the followers.
So he knows he's the Antichrist. When does he realise?
Starts talking tongue in his sleep, I guess. And his missus wakes him up. What the fuck are you saying, James?
You know, when he only fucks his girlfriend doggy style, because
Yeah.
that's in the Omen.
That's
Fuck up the arse, I suppose, wouldn't he?
I guess he would, yeah. I guess he would.
Not going to get very pregnant with that, though, are you? I guess.
He doesn't need to.
I suppose he is the Antichrist. He doesn't need to give his spawn away, does he?
That's it. Like Christ, the Antichrist will come to Jerusalem, but as the opposite of Christ, he will be enthusiastically hailed and revered by the Jews. During his reign, he will rebuild the temple and sit on the throne of Solomon in a sacrilegious and hideous inversion of just priesthood and kingship.
Just priesthood.
But that's never existed. Maybe not since the Druids. They were allowed to fuck. He will convert the rulers of the earth to his cause and persecute Christians dreadfully. I'm liking the guy. All of those who resist his wiles will be tortured, and as Jesus prophesied in Matthew 24:21, there will be great suffering, such as not been from the beginning of the world until now. The two great prophets, Enoch and Elijah, who never really died but were spirited away to the earthly paradise, will arrive to preach against the tyrant and comfort the elect, but the Antichrist will slay them.
Oh shit.
That's a shitter.
It's for them.
At the end of the allotted 3.5 years, however, the Antichrist will be destroyed by the very power of Christ.
So what's that like? Jesus will come back and go, "Fuck you, buddy."
Pretty much
It'd be a boxing match, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Nowadays, wouldn't it?
What they think the evangelicals like to think is that you get this massive big battle. Well, Armageddon. That's where the name Armageddon comes from.
Of course, yeah.
There's a place in Israel which is like the perfect place to have a battle.
Like the ground zero kind of.
It was the battlefield for many, many generations called Megiddo. And that's where the term Armageddon comes from, because decisive battles are always fought at this place. It's like the perfect place in that area to have a big pitch battle.
Okay.
So you can see it as the evangelicals go for, where they think, well, you know what, that's where the battle's going to be, the Battle of Armageddon, where Christ and his angel horde and the humans who have sided with him versus the Antichrist and his demons and the humans who have sided with him. But let me ask you this. If Jesus literally turns up with a horde of angels and says, "Hey, Pete, Ben, Claire, Mike,
Come give us a hand.
come give us a hand," right? I'm not going to listen to the fucking bloke with the horns going, "Hey, come on this
Was
side."
he Mexican?
I don't know. Because he's called Jesus, probably. I don't know.
I got burritos.
I got apple pie pussy, cherry pussy, chocolate pussy.
Smelly pussy.
Or let's pick a few names out the hat. Or it's Bill Gates, or it's Obama, or Trump.
Yeah.
And they've got horns at this point. And they've got
Without the
an
horns.
army of demons behind them. Right? And they've got a slithery reptile tongue. Which side are you going on?
Well, going to be.
Got a few questions. I'd be like, how are we going to live if I go with you?
My
It's a new
question.
paradise on Earth.
My question will be:
Paradise on Earth.
where's
eh?
my weapon and how big is it?
But if you go with the Antichrist, then it's an eternity of hell.
It's darkness, it's terrible, you get your soul eaten by demons.
Because
If that happens, if it does happen, it's obviously it's real, and it's like, oh shit, okay, right, yeah. We all want to be on the good side, clearly.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. You know, I didn't really believe in God to this point. You're not just getting me to come along for cannon fodder, are you?
Yeah, but we've had like 3.5 years of the Antichrist, haven't we? Or 7 years if you look at it from the evangelicals they go for. And then Jesus literally rocks up with a host of angels at his back, and they go, "Hell with him," because all of this is true all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And that's my main issue with religion, is I just don't fucking believe any of it. I think it's fairy tales for idiots. Sorry. That's just my opinion. It's people who can't be good without a reason, because they got some cosmic spanking from their sky daddy if they step out of line. It's arseholes. That's all I ever see of religious people, and that's every fucking faith.
Yeah, but you see the extreme right, don't you? The evangelicals.
Oh, the radicals.
Yeah. You don't see the people that go to church every week. It just brings them a bit of solace in their life.
Yeah.
And it gives them...
No, yeah,
Some
I
comfort.
see that side of it. Yeah, definitely.
Which is the majority of people.
Nowadays, certainly. Yeah.
Well, the fringe is always radical, isn't it?
The radicals always shout
It's
loudest.
always... Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always the smallest minority.
Yeah.
It is, but still, they are everything. I won't be happy until the last stone of the last church falls on the last priest, to be honest. I think it's held us back as a
In
species.
some respects it has, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I think
don't believe on the dogma or
who knows
what.
where we'd be now with that 500 years of dark ages we had in the
Yeah.
Middle Ages, where no one could get educated.
Mm.
You know, where would we be 500 years further ahead? Where's that take us?
Because if you dared criticise a church, you get burnt in the stake.
Mm,
They were allowed to learn longbow, though.
they were. That's my theory on that, anyway.
No, yeah.
If Jesus rocks up on a white horse, and remember he comes not to bring peace but a sword, a flaming sword, with a host of angels behind him, and I've got Bill Gates over there with a ton of demons, all these weird looking mutated fuckers who joined him, I know which side I'm joining. Because I mean, well, you know what? looks like I was wrong. Looks like this was all true. And when Jesus is going to win, because the good guys always win, don't they? I'll be on his side then.
Am I allowed a sniper rifle, and am I allowed to aim it at Bill Gates' face?
Probably.
That's the question
I don't think you can kill him with an earthly weapon, though.
No, obviously one of their sniper rifles, some kind of heavenly sniper rifle, touched by God himself.
I think that's just a flaming sword.
That'll do, I don't care, to be honest, as long as I can hit him around the head with it.
There's been a fixation with the Antichrist beginning mainly in the 16th century, but obviously back in the Bible days, everyone was blaming everybody, weren't they? Being the Antichrist. But you get the medieval, you get that whole dogma side. Everyone's religious in the Middle Ages. If you're not, as Mike said, you get burnt at the stake. So everyone's tipping their head and nodding their hat and
believing what they believe.
Believing what they believe.
Can't believe anything else.
And it's more of a terrible individual, and it gave way to the view of an Antichrist as a collective body of evil. Now this is where the Protestants come in, because you get the split, don't you, in the Middle Ages between the Protestants and the Catholics. And Martin Luther insists that the institution of the papacy, rather than any given pope, was the Antichrist. The whole organisation is the Antichrist because it's un-Christ-like. You know, so I can get behind that.
Totally, look at it.
I've been to the Vatican.
It's got its own little foot. Well, it's its own country, isn't it?
I've been
Pope's snakehead throne room.
I've seen it. I've been to St. Peter's Basilica. I've been inside. Snakehead.
Yeah.
And I've been in the Vatican Museum, and everyone forgets the Vatican is actually just a massive castle.
Yeah.
Because it's hoarding a lot of wealth. My God, the riches, the artefacts, and that's only what they're showing to the public. Imagine when they've got stashed away somewhere downstairs.
Did you see that big chair that was meant for Christ, wasn't it?
I didn't see that.
But some people believe that's for the Antichrist chair.
Interesting. Well, it might well be. Who knows? Because he's going to trick everyone, isn't he?
Yeah.
And if he gets the Pope on his side, then everyone's going to think he's the real deal. There's a billion Catholics. But no, the papacy... Was it Maradona? It was being shown around the museum by the Pope. And he's like, oh, yeah, the Pope says, like, yeah, there's a lot of poverty in Argentina. He's like, yeah, maybe you could sell some of this.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I mean, the Pope sits on a golden throne, for God's sake. Would Jesus do that?
He was a socialist,
No.
Maradona was.
Yeah. As if Indiana Jones has taught us anything, it's that Jesus wouldn't drink from the golden cup, would he?
No.
The furry cup, yes. The clay cup, yes. But not the golden one.
Definitely not.
So if you're sat there proclaiming to be the head of Christianity on earth, God's right-hand man, and you're sat on a golden throne, I call you out as the Antichrist, sir.
Yeah.
You should be living with the poor and the
You should be living in some barracks in Rome somewhere.
Not like the richest person in the entire planet.
Not a king. He's literally king.
He's more powerful than kings at one point, wasn't he?
The popes were back in the Middle Ages, absolutely.
They still have a lot of power, to be fair.
They have a lot more than they let on.
A bit more in the background, I was going to say, but yeah, they still have a lot of power, I think you'll find. Like you said, more than they let on, definitely.
Absolutely. Roman Catholics, in response, have become less inclined to identify an individual as like the Antichrist, so it's like, well, our Pope is a bit dodgy, let's just keep quiet. Vestiges of the... not yet.
Did mention that, actually, go on.
Oh, popular culture.
Yeah, go on.
It's moved its way in, hasn't it? Because it's a really cool thing. I love it. I love the whole... There's got to be this anti-version of Christ he's gonna have this war on Earth, and it's gonna be fucking metal, and there's gonna be flying demons fighting angels.
The best depiction I've seen of that is American Dad episode.
Yes! The Rapture episode. Stan's a fake Christian, isn't he? He just believes in it 'cause everyone else does, but he thinks he should be raptured. He doesn't get raptured, and he spends his 7 years
I think I remember that
fighting demons, and he's missing an eye, he's got a spear for a hand.
That's right, yeah.
And the Antichrist is some kind of weird Riddler type person.
Yeah, and Jesus is this big buff dude.
Yeah.
He is the opposite of Christ. But he's obviously the more evil version, isn't he? He's the evil version of Christ. He's the weird Doctor Strange alternate universe version of himself. I mean, it's alright. It's okay, innit? I mean, it's good. It's a cool story. Cool story, bro. But I love the fact it's made its way into popular culture because it was interesting me. Rosemary's Baby, 1968, The Omen, obviously. Devil's Advocate. That's a great film. Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino plays a devil. Yeah.
It's a great
Stigmata.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got? There's more.
End of Days.
End of Days, he wants to create the Antichrist by banging the chick, doesn't he? I mean, all goes with Crowley wanted. He was always trying to get the Scarlet Woman. They wanted to get the Babylon ritual. They tried to create the perfect vassal for the Antichrist. Why not fuck about with that shit?
It's not real.
I think that's probably true. Let's not forget about the mark of the beast, and that comes from Revelations. I'm going to quote St. John the Divine. Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666.
Ooh.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah. Revelation 13:6-18. The number of the beast, mark of the beast, the number 666. If you join up to the beast side, you won't be able to do anything with that mark on your wrist or your forehead. Now that's where a lot of people get worried nowadays. Everyone's going about having a little microchip in your hand, so you can just go to the checkout. I do it on my phone now anyway.
Yeah.
All you got to do is scan your...
All I got to do is run my hand past the thing. That's it.
But they say it's the mark of the beast.
Or some kind of tattoo on your forehead, or maybe even some kind of slogan on a baseball cap across your forehead.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. And it seems that in the history of the West, over the last 2,000 years, there's never been a time when someone hasn't been predicting the end of the world, let's face it. I like the poet John Donne. Put it in the Anatomy of the World in 1611. 'Tis all in pieces, all coherence gone. That's pretty much isn't it?
Not a lot's changed.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's go through some people who've been surprisingly identified as the Antichrist. Surprisingly.
Because we know the ones through history that have Nero, Hitler,
Napoleon.
Mussolini, yeah. All the tyrants through history, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah. Pretty sure Pol Pot's in there somewhere as well. Yeah, basically anyone. Stalin.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, I think he was actually, yeah. Genghis Khan. Or Genghis Khan. We'll go with Genghis because that's what Dan Carling says, and I bow to him on history.
Vlad the Impaler.
No, he fought on the side of the church.
Did he?
Yeah. He
Just
was
an evil bastard.
specifically employed by the church to fight the Muslims in Wallachia.
He was a really evil bastard, he were.
Yes, but he was killing the infidel.
He'll be an episode one day.
Oh yeah. Alright, let's start.
Danny DeVito.
I've just read that and seen Danny DeVito's name there.
He's the Antichrist.
Fuck's sake.
Danny DeVito. This loopy theory comes from William Tapley, who calls himself the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times.
I believe him. I believe him already, that's it. I believe him.
Third eagle of the apocalypse just sounds, I don't know, he's like, what can I say that's cool? Apocalypse.
I want to be an eagle of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That is quite cool.
Who's number one? Who's 1 and 2?
Yeah.
In 2014, he decided the One Direction song, Steal My Girl, was not only a secret message from the Illuminati about the future of the planet, but also specifically the future of the Catholic Church. In the video, Danny DeVito plays a director who meets up with a band to shoot a video in the desert. According to Tapley, DeVito is clearly meant to represent the Antichrist. Oh, thank God for that. At least he's not the Antichrist. Danny DeVito's name supposedly refers to the lost Israelite tribe of Dan, where the Antichrist is meant to come from, when we touched on that. DeVito arrives in a Cadillac Eldorado with 3 6s in its number plate, although they're not consecutive. He's also shorter, apparently a reference to the Antichrist being known as Little Horn. And when I read that, I thought, that explains the Marilyn Manson song on Antichrist Superstar called Little Horn is, and because his little horn is born.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, it all comes together. What can Marilyn Manson teach us? A lot about sexual inappropriateness.
Yeah, he's well dodgy.
Yeah. I only saw him the year before all that came out. He was fucking great. Alright, he looked fucking out of it. I mean,
I never liked him. I didn't
I
like
used to
his
be,
music.
used to be quite a big Marilyn Manson fan.
I watched him at Reading 2005.
Yeah, I did.
He came on after or before the Foo Fighters, wasn't he? If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Reading was a rock festival.
Yeah, but we went. We was like, well, got to watch him. He's there on stage. He is who he is, kind of thing. Very big. We've got to see him, haven't you? Say you've seen him.
Yeah.
So we did. It was enjoyable. Got to say, I enjoyed it. He put on a good show.
I've seen him a couple of times. Once when he was a lot younger and he could do the costume changes in between songs. No, he can't. He's too old and fat. And then the video begins in a desert and ends with rain, which is apparently the Illuminati's roundabout way of saying that the Antichrist and the false prophet will bring rain to a parched earth. The 5 band members represent the Catholic Church, and 2 men carrying a red couch in the background are meant to be a symbol for war. The second horseman of the apocalypse, thus being a prediction of war in the Middle East. I suppose that war does ride the red horse. Tapley goes into quite a lot of detail in the symbolism that he sees in the video, including sumo wrestlers representing the beheading of Christians, a chimpanzee representing Darwinism, and Satan himself, and much more. Many of these subscribers offer their own interpretations, including the one theory the timing of the refrain na 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 was a clear indication it represented 666. I think we can chalk that one up to one man's lunacy.
Yeah.
I don't know, some of it though. I mean, I do believe that the Illuminati, whatever, whoever they may be,
Mate, they're not One Direction, I can tell you.
certainly
bunch
the
of
people at the
Satanists
top of
and-
society
yeah,
are Satanists, and they believe this, and they put this in the adverts and things and songs and films and
I do believe there is truth in that as well.
yeah.
I'm with you on
But
that.
whether Danny DeVito is the Antichrist, I don't believe.
Yeah,
He may be
but-
representing the Antichrist, unbeknownst to him.
Yeah, it
probably.
could be. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Completely
Danny DeVito's not the
unbeknownst
Antichrist,
No.
that guy's the fucking
No.
Yeah.
legend.
to him. He is, and
I can tell you one reason why he's not the Antichrist. You know the film Matilda?
yeah,
Yeah, he directed that as well as starred in it.
yeah,
And the little girl who was Matilda, her mum was dying of cancer when they made that film.
that's
Oh.
right.
And he
paid-
took her in, he looked after the
He did
girl,
lots, didn't he?
They took her in as one of their own.
And his
he-
wife.
and his wife.
wasn't it?
And he even took her an advanced copy of the film that no one else had seen so she could see her daughter in it.
Ah.
That's why he's not the Antichrist, and that's why I say that
No,
guy's full of shit.
I remember reading about that, and yeah, he does a lot of good for people.
What about Juan Carlos I of Spain, or sorry, Juan Carlos? In 1994, Charles R. Taylor argued that Juan Carlos was the Antichrist king based upon a number of assertions, biblical assertions. Daniel 7:23-25 is interpreted as saying that the 11th kingdom to join the revived Roman Empire will be the prince who will come, and Spain was the 11th nation to join the European Union. They're saying that the European Union is basically a remade Roman Empire.
Yeah, something to do with Babylon, isn't it? The stars are pentagrams, aren't they?
Yes, they are all little pentagram stars.
Yeah, that's why you see a lot of stars on a lot of things that when you get it pointed out to you.
If you look at the Republican Party, yeah,
So
recently they turned the star, so it's like a normal star. Now they turned it, so it's like the fucking, what do you call it? It's a pentagram, isn't it?
The more satanic pentagram, the
Yeah.
inverted.
Sort of like a goat's head,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And they've turned it. So it looks like that now. There you go.
That's surprising
look
considering
at
the
the
most
back-
evangelical party.
I know, yeah.
police badges, the American police badges, what are they all?
5-pointed stars.
5-point stars.
Yep.
There's lots of connections with, and again, that kind of brings it back to your point on the Illuminati. Clearly, at the top of the food chain.
Yeah. I'm talking the 0.001%.
Yeah, these are people you've never heard of.
Yeah, nobody knows about them. Completely shadowed. Yeah, but they're the ones pulling the strings.
Yeah.
There's-
I believe there's others that filter down.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
Film directors that are probably Satanists, and you know it does trickle. But at the top, it's where all the
Nobody knows.
Can
who
we
they
say
are.
Satanists?
Well,
Are they Satanists in the true sense of the word? I mean, I'd put them as worshipping some kind of some more ancient deity, and that's because
Or maybe
let's not
whatever.
forget that Satanists are composite characters.
Yeah.
Satan is a composite character, the same as Jesus.
might be
I
older.
don't believe they're actually like practicing any religion at the top.
You don't?
No, it's just that their actions are diabolical. That's what makes them the Antichrist.
Okay.
That's
so
a valid point, actually.
Yeah, could be that.
It's Antichrist-like behaviour.
yeah.
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 But
duping everybody with little fucking magic tricks and...
Look at this, who made you have an extra £20 a week. No, we're taking it away.
Yeah.
But there is people that come out and said that there were Satanists that kill babies and shit like that. According to these people.
Yeah, alleged. These are eyewitness testimony. I mean, Hillary Clinton's meant to be into this child sacrifice and adrenochrome. Well, that's what people say. She's meant to be well into it.
There's a lot of these big influential people that are apparently into that as well.
You know, she, in the emails it was praise Molech and sacrifice a virgin and all that.
Sacrifice a chicken,
Sacrifice a chicken to Molech.
Yeah.
All that.
You know, could be an older deity than Satan, whatever, I don't know. I believe they believe in this shit anyway.
And
Some
is
of
there
them
truth in the whole child trafficking thing involved with it?
could
With,
be.
like,
Who knows?
wardrobes selling for 40 grand, but when you look at the actual, like, what the wardrobe's been called, it's like a tracking number of a child that's gone missing and things like that, so people who know what they're buying can check out what child they're potentially buying.
Stuff, yeah,
that's
a whole different rabbit hole to go down.
No, but it's all connected with that.
It seems to
side
fit into
of
that.
things.
And a lot of people go missing every year and are never found.
Yeah.
Now, it's not all of them are dead. Some just strike up new identities, things like that.
Live
a lot
on
of
the
them
streets.
live on the streets, fall off the radar, fall off the grid.
But to back up what Mike was saying, that's where
100,000 people go missing in Britain every year.
People go fucking seriously.
100,000.
Yeah, a lot of them are found.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them are found. 99% of them are found.
Yeah, but there's a lot in America that aren't found. A lot.
Still 1%
Quite
of 100,000.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's still a lot.
1,000 people a year
Exactly.
just. Honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Alien abduction, though.
Could
We
be.
covered that the other week, didn't we?
Now, he says that the Antichrist will confirm a treaty with many for 1 week, which is meant to interpret it to mean 7 years, because biblical time is different to normal time. For reasons that I don't understand or know.
So 1 week is 7 years.
Yeah, biblical time is different.
1 day, 1 year, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a long fucking day, isn't it?
And it's linked to... It's interpreted to mean 7 years and linked to multilateral talks between Israel, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon and Palestinian representatives at the 1991 Madrid conference. Now, I don't know what the significance of that is, probably because he's getting everyone together around a table, all the biblical countries.
Yeah, it says, well, in the Bible it says he will confirm a treaty for many for 1 week, which is 7 years. And he did that with 7 different
Fantastic.
countries or whatever.
I bet you think I just can't fucking win. Here I am trying to get peace in the Middle East. This has dragged on for 7 years. Everyone's accusing me of being the Antichrist. Numerologically, Drankar's name in Hebrew, Greek, Latin, English, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French and German and Russian are said to equal 666. Lucky boy. And some claim that he is the descendant of the famous Merovingian bloodline of conspiracy law. Not a conspiracy, the Merovingian bloodline existed. Whether or not it was a direct line from Christ or not, I don't know. But certainly that bloodline existed, that's fact.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine that he certainly could have that blood in him, very, very diluted now, but it was royal blood. He also owns a yacht called the Dragon, seen as a reference to Satan in the book of Revelation. Or we could just fucking say it's really fucking cool to call your yacht Dragon.
Yeah.
Couldn't we? Even if you're a king, you know, you call the yacht Dragon. The Hope of Israel ministry claimed in the 1990s that modern Spain might be populated by the descendants of Esau, who tried to kill Jacob in the Bible, as well as the inhabitants of Edom, south of biblical Israel, who fought against them and are also linked with Babylon, of course, and the Rothschilds. They believe that the Antichrist will probably be Jewish, and that Juan Carlos and most European royalty are secretly Jewish. We've got to get the anti-Semitism in there somewhere, haven't we? Not us personally. What's his name again who's written this crap? Yeah, this is tenuous at best. What have we got next?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. This old piece of conspiracy theory email lore is based on the occult significance of Bill Gates' name in ASCII code. Bill Gates III, converted into ASCII.
I think it's pronounced ASCII.
ASCII, whatever. Creates a series of numbers that equals 666 as do Windows 95 and MS-DOS
There we
6.11.
go.
Another piece of evidence is an Easter egg found in copies of Excel 95, where pressing Control-Alt-Shift while clicking the Tech Support button in the About Microsoft Excel window would open up a Doom-like hallway marked as the Hall of Tortured Souls. That's ace.
Is that the image at the top?
Yeah.
That was just for Windows 95 or
XL 95.
Excel. No one's got that anymore, have they?
No.
Do you think that might have just been completely Doom related, as Doom was like one of the earliest proper games that came through on Windows 95 and shit, really, wasn't it?
Probably somebody just having a laugh one day and just, and then it got out like years on. He's like, I put that.
It has an engine like Doom.
Easter
Yeah, it
egg
is like
in.
Doom.
Oh, it was a game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a Doom thing. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't see much in that. It was just a little Easter egg they just added into it, wasn't it? It's like, look,
Yeah, but it is called the Hall of Tortured Souls.
there is that.
Whose
but-
are all these names that are scrolling up? Because we're watching a little video now of the Hall of the Tortured Souls.
That's a good point,
Maybe
actually.
it's the damned.
Probably all the people who worked on the bloody
Yeah.
programme.
That's what I'm thinking. You know, like at Mario at the very end, and then all the names go flying past and that.
Yeah, but what if it's not? What if it's a list of people that have gone missing or something? Do you know what I mean? How
now,
mad would
Pete, you're
that?
proper down the rabbit hole, aren't you?
Yeah, but how mad would that be though if it was?
I think probably if it was, it would have been brought to attention by now. Someone must have looked into them names.
But, I mean, you know, kids and stuff.
Yeah, but who's going to
use
do
this.
that?
All of Tortured Souls. It's a shit game, by the way.
Yeah, but who's gonna do it? What are you gonna do? You got to click.
Control-Shift when you press a tap button.
Who's gonna do that? It's one of them things that just leaks out in it, and then you do it because it's a laugh.
Yeah, but why have they edited it in and called it that?
Why not? A bit of fun, innit?
Like I said, I think it's jumping on the bandwagon of Doom.
Yeah, look at that. Now there's pictures of people. They're probably people.
Development teams' faces.
There you go. See.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of credit for them, innit? It's
It was just like, oh, look
Fuck
what
you,
we
Bill
can do
Gates.
now. Think as well at the
It's not all
time.
about you.
Think at the time as well, 1995.
Exactly. It's not all about you, Bill.
And
You're not even in here. This is like at the after party. You're not invited, motherfucker.
I bet
Easter
if-
egg.
I bet if you look through all them names, find out what happened to them, I bet they've all been dragged down to hell.
Yeah, but how are we going to find that out?
Or sacked.
But also, you think they were also showing off their computer skills
Yeah.
because they were just Windows programmers or whatever, and they've gone, yeah, but actually we could do a Doom game because you think at what the level of advanced technology that
It didn't
was.
exactly look like a Doom game, mate. You could just walk through it. There was nothing killing you or
No,
shooting
but these
you.
were just normal old programmers that were programming Windows 95. I think they maybe wanted just to show off that they could do a bit of 3D gaming like Doom did, kind of thing.
I don't know. The next one's fantastic.
Not sure. Prince William?
I love how they describe this guy. He's a conspiracy theorist, Peter Kling. Is that a ridiculous black toupee?
I'm not sure.
I believe it is.
Could be a hat, but
Yes,
yeah.
Could be a hat.
I'm going with ridiculous black toupee. The Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, is an odd choice for an Antichrist figure, but Peter Kling, who's a conspiracy theorist and an expert apparently, believes that Prince William will be crowned King of the World as part of a hidden Illuminati and United Nations plot for world domination.
So hold on, right? If he's the
The UN, who can't do fuck all, I can't take over the world.
So hold on, if he's the Antichrist, let's just go back to what we were learning a bit earlier on about how the Antichrist is formed. Basically calling Diana a fucking
Whore Babylon.
whore, and
Oh, I fucking have them.
Prince Charles, Satan,
They're called my-
essentially.
Like, I'm choosing my next words carefully, but Diana did like to throw it up a bit.
Maybe a bit promiscuous at times, but she's
Yeah,
lovely.
but she weren't no bloody succubus whore or anything.
We
was
don't
she?
know that. We don't know what went on behind closed doors. For all you know, there was like fucking 24-person gangbangs going on.
She did Charles, that ginger bugger, and then
Harry's dad.
yeah,
Dodie.
and then Dodie.
Oh, and also Will Carling.
Yeah.
The old rugby
I
captain.
bet there's a few others in there.
England captain.
The England rugby team.
Yeah, the rest of the team's behind Will, yeah.
One key piece of evidence is an official Buckingham Palace photograph of William holding a lamb raising its cloven hoof. The lamb represents Christ, while the cloven hoof represents Baphomet. Nothing to do with Satan, though. Making it an obvious sign to Kling that William is the Antichrist. Kling believes the Antichrist is not a religious figure, but an exo-political one, and he's associated with the conspiracy of interdimensional grey and draconian invaders from Orion. According to Kling, the logical choice for king of a one-world government would be Prince William, son of the goddess Diana.
Oh.
He is under the control of the House of Rothschild and a direct descendant of King David and King Solomon, as was Jesus. He claims that the House of Windsor is secretly controlled by the Zionists, who are in turn controlled by aliens. Well, you've got everything in there. You've got the anti-Semitism, you've got the aliens.
Do you know what? I kind of like his theory a little bit, though.
I don't believe that the Zionists are controlling the royal families and everybody else on the planet.
It gets even madder.
Others with slightly more traditional views of the Antichrist are also open to Prince William being a candidate. Dr. Joyce Pugh, I'd love to know that doctorate's in, has argued that Prince, a doctorate of Google, that is, here's $400, send me a doctorate, has argued that Prince William was actually cloned from the DNA of Jesus Christ, which was recovered from the Shroud of Turin. As a clone, William apparently has no soul and is therefore easily possessed by demons. And Diana was killed as a sacrifice to usher in the Antichrist and the veracity of the Shroud, and it will eventually be proven and used as proof that William is the returned Messiah. She believes that a faux alien attack will then be staged to encourage a scared population into accepting Prince William as global leader. Well, fuck me, what crazy juice has she been on this morning?
I don't know, but I want some.
So do I, that's fucking incredible. The Beast Computer.
What?
Some believe the Antichrist may be a machine rather than a man. One rumour states that when the European Common Market was established in the 1970s, a 3-storey supercomputer was built in Brussels. It was designed to be self-programming and reliant on a system of invisible, unique barcodes placed on people's foreheads or hands, with 3 sets of 3 numbers each. No. Though an invisible system of infrared scanners, the Beast would control... Through invisible system of infrared scanners, the Beast would control all world trade. The concept appears to have originated in the work of a Christian fantasy author, Joe Musser, who used it in a novel and a screenplay, and soon noticed it being retold as fact. Actually, that theory for me holds a little bit of weight. I know it's obviously based on the story, but social media, the internet as a whole is fucking evil in places, isn't it? It's the worst part of humanity. The internet.
And some of the
Can
best.
be, and the best, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all humanity, isn't it?
But I don't think we were ready for it, so... newer versions of the theory have updated the details to match modern realities and conspiracy trends, and the Beast is now said to be located in the supposed underground military base at Dulce, New Mexico. Check out our episode on Dulce base.
Yep.
And alternatively at an NSA data center in Bluffdale, Utah. or perhaps beneath Denver International Airport.
Check our episode on that.
Yeah, check out the episode on that. It's believed to be a biological human brain combined with a 3D computer chips, and is powerful enough to control the US government at all levels and run complex simulations of human society based on data from government spying networks, and it's said to be run by a cabal of transhumanists and has either developed its own spiritual consciousness or become a vessel for Lucifer or aliens.
What?
Let's break it down. I'm with it.
Like how he puts all aliens in brackets. Yeah. What could be aliens?
I'm still trying to compute all what was said. Do you like that? How I said compute?
Yeah.
That was clever.
I like that. I'm down for that last bit. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. That's my new worldview. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. An article written by Matthew Avery Sutton. Was FDR the Antichrist, the birth of fundamentalist anti-liberalism in the golden age? Fuck me, that was a riveting read. Real page turner, that one. Explored the influence of Protestant premillennialism. Oh God, man, fuck me. Protestant
Get your teeth in.
Millennialism.
Yeah.
Premillennialism on US politics in the first half of the 20th century. For many fundamentalist Christians in the 20s and 30s, there were ample signs the end times were upon them. The fall of the Ottoman Empire, the rise of Bolshevism in Russia and fascism in Italy, and the beginning of the return of the Jews to the Holy Land seemed to reflect biblical prophecies of Revelation. According to Sutton, premillennialism...
That word again.
Premillennialism.
Yeah.
Someone else have another go at that. Go on, see if you fucking...
Premillennialism?
Oh, you twat.
Premillennialism.
Twat. According to Sutton, that word served as a filter through which the faithful understood American politics. At the same time, FDR's non-traditional policies, opposing prohibition, recognising the Soviet Union, support for the World Court, and statist economic solutions to the Depression, seemed to indicate that he was either the Antichrist himself or someone working in the Antichrist
Because he was
favour.
doing a bit of socialism, that's what it was.
I like FDR.
Yeah, I mean, America's last great president.
Opposing Roosevelt was to oppose the Antichrist New World Order, and many saw opposing the New Deal as a vital part of that divine struggle. They saw the growth of a strong centralised government and cooperation between nations as paving the way for an ostentatiously benevolent world leader who would then be revealed as the Antichrist.
That didn't happen. Or it hasn't happened.
No. But he was named as it. It was the same as Napoleon, Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot.
Yeah, but FDR,
Nero.
all he did was just give a bit of social security to people and cut the working hours and things like that.
Oh, yeah. But
How's he's not fucking killed millions, has he?
Evil
Well, them
bastard.
internment camps weren't great for the Japanese.
No, that wasn't that. Yeah, that's true.
Probably the blot on his ledger,
Yeah,
that is,
yeah.
actually.
Definitely.
Big blot, though.
It's a big blot.
The what, sorry?
But at least he didn't invent them.
During
Like
World,
Churchill.
During World War II, anyone on the East Coast, which is, well, mainly Japanese people who lived on the East Coast of America.
On the West Coast.
West Coast, sorry. The West Coast, you're right. People of Japanese descent were rounded up after Pearl Harbor and put into internment camps. Because they couldn't be trusted. Could be fifth columnists. You know?
Not talked about a lot, is it?
It's not talked about a lot.
Never heard about that, to be honest. I don't think I've ever
People
heard
of
that.
Japanese descent did go and fight in World War II. Some of them went as interpreters in the Pacific, although never allowed to see combat, I don't think. Only allowed in Germany, I believe. Which is mental when you think that the amount of Americans who got German descent,
And went over to fight for Germany.
and some of them went over to fight for
Yeah.
Germany. Not many, but
A few did.
A sizable number. So someone called, I don't know, Gottlieb, who's American, all of a sudden is more trustworthy to go and fight in Germany than someone whose name's, I don't know, Miyagi against the Japanese. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Superman.
Superman.
What the fuck?
In the lead up to the release of Man of Steel, that's not a good movie.
Nope.
I thought it was alright, I did.
Superman, I've never liked Superman.
Oh, see, I've always loved Superman. Bit of Christopher Reeves, he was awesome.
I liked him when I was a kid.
I think he's dull. He's
Nah,
a dull
he was
hero.
brilliant. He was brilliant.
So nothing can stop me. I'm one of the few people who likes Batman versus Superman because I get to see Batman kick the shit out of Superman, and it gives me pleasure.
Yeah, Batman ain't a superhero, is he? He's just a very rich guy who really good with
Batman
gadgets.
Batman
More of a
is
vigilante.
Yeah.
peak humanity. Batman, basically Bruce Wayne. For that role, he's his peak. And also he's got genius level intellect.
But what would he have had without his money?
A genius level intellect.
Yeah, but without the money to back it up.
Martial arts.
But without the money to back it up, he wouldn't have gotten anywhere near where he was.
He probably wouldn't have, but...
Superman was fucking awesome from the outset.
Superman's only good because of the sun.
Yeah,
it's just
but-
so lucky that the red sun of Earth... Sorry. Yellow sun of Earth empowers Kryptonians rather than the red sun of Krypton, which depowers them. He just got lucky. He landed on the right planet.
Well, yeah.
In numerous canonical DC lore,
Well, no,
Batman
he
has
was
kicked
sent-
the shit out of Superman on many an occasion.
He was sent to
In fact,
it.
even when he was
wasn't
an old... No, he was just fired off as a... This is the last Kryptonian, wasn't it?
I thought he was, like, purposely sent to Earth in the sense that... Because I'm sure he was, like,
No, he was
warned prior how he'll be...
No,
He'll be a lot faster and a lot stronger.
No, he was a
Earth,
baby
or-
when he landed in the original origin. He's a...
Or am I thinking
and Man of
something
Steel.
else?
Did you watch Man of Steel? He lands as a baby in
I might be thinking of Supergirl.
Maybe in Supergirl.
No,
don't
I've
know.
watched the series Supergirl. I think that might have been the bit.
No,
in
Superman
Supergirl,
lands as a
maybe.
baby in the field. He's found by the farmer.
Yeah, of course.
Gets to like being 8 years old and realises he can pick a tractor
Lifted
up.
up the car.
Yeah, that kind of shit. Anyway, Warner Brothers made the dubious decision of trying to use the film's messianic comparison with Jesus to sell it to Christian audiences through the faith-based marketing firm Grace Hill Media. They organised special screenings for pastors and edited trailers to be used in churches, along with Man of Steel themed sermon notes. This backfired on them rather spectacularly when pastors who were shown advanced screenings of the film left theatres with warnings that Man of Steel's message was explicitly anti-Christian. And in the DC universe from Man of Steel onwards, if the Snyderverse version of the DC universe is to be believed, then people do worship Superman as a god. But let's face it, you're this indestructible being who's just rocked up on the planet and will save you if he can. What's that if not a god?
Yeah.
Well, it's like the three baddies. They call themselves gods, don't they? They're like, we're gods here, and that's their kind of reasoning.
That's their
for...
stance on it.
Because Superman was,
so-
because they consider themselves superior as Kryptonians, whereas Superman's been raised on Earth by humans. He's been given that compassion, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, Superman's got laser eyes, hasn't he?
Yeah, man.
So how's Batman beat him, really?
Kryptonite.
Yeah. He cheated.
His weakness,
He used his money and cheated.
Kryptonite and strategy and tech.
Used his money and cheated.
You can't teach strategy. Well, you can, but you know. Martial arts. Yeah. Still a ninja, though. Take away Superman's powers, what is he? Just a dude. Batman's still a ninja.
It's kind of why I want to watch the new one with Skinny Bones. What's his
That
name?
looks quite interesting, actually, that movie.
Yeah, I think they've tried to make him a bit more ninjerous by going with the skinnier.
It's like year one Batman. He's only been at it for a bit and he hasn't figured everything out yet. So his gear's not as good. His Batmobile's like over, I think it's a Dodge Charger.
Does look good though.
It does look pretty cool.
Does look good.
So let's get back to this. Reverend Thomas Reese complained the film declared that superpowers, not love, conquers evil. Bash the bad guy, don't turn the cheek. They criticised... There's a bit fucking much in it, really, considering Jesus is going to turn up with a fucking flaming sword and smite people. They criticised the commodification of Christianity and the depiction of the Messiah as being one of violence and vengeance who spares little thought for casualties amongst the innocent. Like when Jesus turns up with a host of angels and a flaming sword. Pastor Mitchell Parnell gave a particularly vehement review, saying, "Don't sit there and tell me I can compare this character to Jesus. Harry Potter's a better messianic figure than this Superman is." Then he went on to bash the gays and was probably found with a dick in his mouth about 3 weeks later.
What's a messianic figure?
Someone like Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The Messiah.
The Messiah, right,
Yeah.
got you.
He's not the Messiah, he's just a naughty boy.
He's a very naughty boy.
Love that film.
Yeah. In the aftermath, conspiracy theorists leaped on the bandwagon, pointing fingers at the fact the creators of Superman, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, were Jewish. Do you know what that's got to do with anything? To some, any parallels of Jesus were engineered by Satan and the Illuminati, occult masters of Hollywood, to convince the Americans to accept the idea of an alien god-man with absolute power. Well, now it's coming together. Even Superman's Kryptonian name has a hidden significance, with Kal-El seen as the portmanteau. How did you say that?
Portmanteau.
Well, that's my first time. Portmanteau of the Hebrew El, meaning God, and the Germanic name Kal, believed by some to mean man.
God-man.
God-man, making Superman a man-god, explicitly designed to distract people away from Jesus. And let's face it, Superman at least is more interesting than Jesus.
Yeah.
So who would you follow then? Right. Jesus comes down with a horde of angels.
Yeah.
And then Superman turns up and goes, hey.
Rocks up with the devil.
Hey.
Is he rocking up with a
No.
Yeah, he's
no.
Antichrist, isn't he? He's going to
Yeah,
rock up the devil.
Yeah, alright then.
Or certainly demons.
Yeah, but you may not perceive them as... They might not have big horns or anything. Do you know
No,
what I
it
mean?
might be Captain
He
Planet,
could
Captain America.
He could turn up with a bunch
Could
of
be.
other dudes or something. Do you know what I mean? Who are you going to follow now? It's a quandary, isn't it? Do you follow Superman or do you follow Jesus?
Jesus. Do you know why?
Because he wins.
Because he wins.
Well,
How do you
yeah.
know?
Because he
From
does.
inside.
Written, it's foretold.
And also, remember, in this scenario, right, so let's say that it's Jesus versus Superman. God, by definition, because he created the universe, created the Kryptonians, so therefore knows their secret weapon, therefore secret weakness, so therefore probably has a fucking room full of kryptonite somewhere.
Maybe that's what the swords are made from.
Yeah.
Kryptonite swords. From the planet Krypton.
You could say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's not Superman.
Yeah, me too.
Or could it be Jesus Christ himself?
Jesus himself.
Alpha and Omega, yin and yang. Possibly. The seemingly contradictory theories promoted by the Messianic Jewish cult called the Sabbath Covenant, which claims that the Book of Revelation indicates the beast will rise from the ocean marked with his name, main Greek letters Chi, Z and Sigma. This corresponds, in their view, that an ancient Christogram used to symbolise Jesus. Their symbol was changed to the number 666, which doesn't mean anything at all. They believe that John saw the symbol of Jesus, who was a false messiah set up by a Babylonian sub-worshipping cult that took over the Catholic Church.
Now, I see a bit of a connection there. So, I see this as a bit of a tit for tat, as in, there's a lot of blame upon the Jewish people for being Antichrist. They're the ones that seem to be labelled as the Antichrist.
Well, they don't believe in Christ.
They killed Christ,
yeah,
technically,
this
didn't they?
is it.
That's
So-
what the people would say.
So this maybe seems a bit of a tit for tat. Like, well, actually, no, the Jewish are saying, no, it's Jesus himself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's my take on this as a immediate stance on it. It's like, oh, well, they're just saying that, no, my dad's bigger than your dad. My dad's bigger than your dad. It's that kind of playground
that's what it
almost.
is, isn't it? It is tit for
Yeah.
tat. The Jesus symbol stands as the opposite of the mark of YHVH, and I'm going to guess that's the abbreviation for Jehovah, which is actually the name of God.
Yeah.
I thought it was a song. YHVH.
Oh, the things that you should do with your hands, don't they? Which is the true symbol of God. It is also believed to indicate the false Trinity doctrine, which is why the mark of the beast, or X, is marked on Christian foreheads with the prayer in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The prophecy in Revelation about those who don't receive the mark of the beast, not being able to buy or sell, doesn't refer to some biochip, but rather the historical difficulty for non-Christians to pursue business in the lands of the Catholic Church. Interesting. With some linguistic gymnastics, the theory even breaks down the name Jesus as being derived from the Greek G, earth, and the Latin sus, pig. Therefore, Jesus means abominable pig, or beast of the earth.
Man bear pig.
Blasphemy! They hold that the true Messiah is named Yahusha, and that Jesus abolished the law of the Old Testament, while Yahusha transposed it to the kingdom of Yahweh. Jehovah. Jesus was born on the holy day of the pagan sun god and was sacrificed to Ishtar, Easter, and Christian holy days are based on Babylonian festivals. Yahushua, they claim, is the true Messiah of God. And let's face it, all Christian festivals, Easter, Christmas, the biggies, all based on pagan ones. It's called transubstantiation. So you come in, you conquer a people, and you know that to get them to be fully compliant, you also want them to believe in the same gods as you, so you're all on a common page, aren't you? And those gods don't want you to rebel, they want you to be good, compliant little citizens. So you come in, but instead of fucking with their calendar, so you know what, the feast day of Jupiter, as the Romans say in Britain, the feast day of Jupiter, same time as your feast of Yule, funnily enough. Oh, doesn't that show that Jupiter's actually, the one god? Same date. Well, he's the same dude, we just talk...
It's a different name.
Just a different name.
Just like Allah is just God with a different name. It's the same person.
Yeah, it is the same God. It is just a different prophet.
It's just a different take on it, isn't it? That's all it is. Different name, Jehovah, God,
it's
Allah, whatever.
So come on then, Mike. Give us your pick for him. Is this your pick?
Yep.
I like this one.
Is Donald Trump the Antichrist?
Is he? No. Because he's not in power anymore.
Or isn't he?
You make him in power again.
There's some Americans that believe he is still in power.
Yeah.
There are some Americans who believe he's in power, you're absolutely right.
They actually believe he is still in power as well.
They do. Usually the QAnon, although that's just slipped off the radar a little bit, but QAnon people, believers, think that, he's actually disguised as Biden right now.
You know what though? You don't see much of Biden.
That's because he's just a fucking
Too old.
embarrassment.
It's because he's too old.
Well, no, it's because he's just
Keeps falling asleep.
Fucking embarrassment to them.
Oh, hi, my name is Joe, Sleepy Joe. Sorry, what? Speak up, I can't hear you.
I mean, Leslie Nielsen in Scary Movie 3 is a better president than Joe Biden.
Oh, dear.
So is the one at Videocracy.
Oh, Terry Crews. Yeah, fucking Terry.
Isn't that the wrestler?
Yeah. He plays a wrestler in the movie, yeah.
That's right.
I'll have Terry Crews as president any day.
Yeah.
Well, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus spoke in the plural when he predicted false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing but inwardly are ravening wolves. After warning that grifters and con artists would try to exploit his followers, he said, "By their fruits ye shall know them." Trump's fruits are pretty obvious. More than 20 women have accused him of rape and sexual assault. Hundreds of contractors, customers and employees have accused him of stealing from them or refusing to pay them, as have members of his own family. Throughout his presidency, he lied over 30,000 times.
Whoa.
That's true. The 20 women, well, have accused him of it, but we're not in court yet.
No.
They're taking him to court, are they?
I don't know where that's coming along. I don't think anything ever came of it, actually. But they've accused him, and you know what? Billionaire in the 80s. It's not just him, but yeah, I can see it.
He pit Americans against each other by race, religion and region in an effort to tear the country apart and thus weaken opposition to his authoritarian rule.
He did create a lot of division.
Yeah.
You gotta give him that.
He openly encouraged violence against unarmed people at multiple rallies and encouraged state violence at a speech to chiefs of police.
Yeah, he did say, why can't you just shoot them? I remember that.
He tried to overthrow and end our democracy. Incited it. Stoked the fire.
Stoked the fire, but let them get on with it.
He embraced murderers, kleptocrats and strongman rulers while ridiculing Western democracies and their elected leaders.
References to King Jong-un and Putin and things like that, I'm assuming that would be.
Yeah, he'd argue Putin.
Duterte in the Philippines.
Yeah, well, every fucking American government's been pally with the Philippines.
Yeah, but he loved him, didn't he?
Of course he did.
Kim Jong-un.
Well, you'd argue that he got him to pack it in, didn't he? Started again, now Biden's back.
He failed though, didn't he?
I don't know, he met with him, he fucking told him not to do it, and they didn't do it.
No one's afraid of Biden.
No one's afraid of Biden.
People are afraid of Trump because he acted like a loose cannon.
He was a loose cannon.
Was he? Or did he just act like it? Is he a very good...
Well, actually, he got very little done, to be fair.
But this
in
is
his
what
time.
he
Apart from tax cuts on the rich, that's...
no, he started building a wall.
Oh, it started...
It
started crumbling, didn't it?
He got 560 something miles, I think.
Fair play in a way. Yeah, that's quite a wall.
No, but a lot of it was already fencing that was there.
It was reinforced.
Yeah.
It went so far underground as well. That's what they planned.
And it was so poorly made, it was starting to crumble.
They had a really interesting design though. You couldn't shoot through from the Mexican side, or you could shoot through from the American side.
Who do you think did the labour for it? The Mexicans or the
well,
or the
we
Americans?
know who paid for it. The Americans did. What did he say?
Mexico.
I'm going to build a wall and Mexico will pay for it.
Yeah.
The war was a daft idea.
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of Trump supporters who get in the war. Oh, he had the best intentions. We want to stop child trafficking and drug dealing, but war ain't stopped nothing. No. Castles are evidence of that. Wars have stopped nothing.
They've just found a different route.
Exactly. There's a scene
dug deeper.
Dug deeper. Gone round the
bridges.
coast.
Yeah.
You know, there's other ways.
They would have done.
I think the war was a bit of a vanity project myself.
Yeah.
He was thinking, hey, you know, that Hadrian guy built that wall. I want to have Trump's wall. Right across the southern border. You know, I'm saying like Jack Nicholson then, from Mars Attacks when he's a billionaire. But yeah. Sorry, go on, carry on.
Okay, he reached out to Jesus' followers and then directs them towards bigotry, violence and hatred. As an object of admiration and a role model, he's replaced Jesus in many white evangelical congregations.
Actually, have you seen some of the artwork? Have you ever seen some of the Jesus and Trump artwork?
No.
Oh, it's cringy as fuck. Like you got Trump sat at the desk in the Oval Office and like Jesus, he's got his hand on his shoulder looking over and shit like that.
My word. Oxygen thieves.
That's literally where I draw the line with Trump. Is I don't think, I'm going to say it now, I don't think he's religious at all.
No shit.
I don't think he is.
He used it, didn't he?
But I think he was clever enough to know that it's a really fucking great untapped supporter base that he could whip up into a frenzy and win, and he did.
He delighted in tearing children from their parents and putting them in cages.
Well, that was happening under Obama, and that's
he didn't end it.
What's that about?
Neither's Biden, mate. They just call them.
Saying,
no, neither's Biden. They just call them pens now.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
What's that all about?
The kids and the parents at the border, they were getting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Under Trump, they called them cages, and under Biden and Obama, they called them pens.
Right.
He tried to end Americans' access to life-saving medical care by killing Obamacare and privatising Medicare. He watched on TV as his followers killed a police officer, sent 140 others to hospital, and tried to murder the Vice President and Speaker of the House.
Again, that's debatable.
He lied about COVID causing more disease and deaths in America than any other nation in the world.
I don't think he lied about that. I just think he put his fingers in his ears and went la 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 la. This isn't happening. I think that's what it was. I don't think he lied about it. But he did just pretend it wasn't happening. Same as the guy from Brazil.
That comment about bleach, though, that was just laughable, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
Can we not just bleach ourselves up?
It was something like, can't we do something with bleach like it was
inject it straight in.
A cleansing. Can we look at something like that? And you're like, I'll tell you one thing it hasn't mentioned, actually, is the one thing I would put me money on. Well, two things, actually. The hat with the slogan, Make America Great Again.
I haven't got that yet.
Haven't we? Sorry.
Yep.
The photo op outside the church.
Yeah.
When he held the Bible upside down.
Yeah. So MAGA means magic or sorcerer in Latin and multiple other languages.
Yeah.
His grandfather's name when he emigrated to America to start a whorehouse in the Pacific Northwest was Drumpf. Did you know that?
I don't know about the whorehouse, because this article's are slightly biased. Yeah. Drumpf, yes, I've heard of that. I've heard people refer to him as Drumpf, actually.
Yeah. John is...
To his face, but on Twitter.
John in German is Johann. Therefore, his actual name is Donald Johann Drumpf, each name having 6 letters.
Also true of Reagan.
He armed the Saudis for their merciless bombing war against Yemen, which has killed 5 million people, facing famine.
So the Brits.
Yeah. His family owns 666 Fifth Avenue.
I'd own that if I had the money, wouldn't you? If you were a billionaire, would you not buy up number 666 on at least one street?
He fooled millions of evangelical followers of Jesus, just as the beast was supposed to do. He put his own red hat MAGA mark on their foreheads.
That's my big one.
And he
Trump
consorts
cap.
with whores and criminals.
Well, who doesn't if you're a billionaire and a politician?
And the Bible, of course, you mentioned, held upside down.
Because it was interesting, because they cleared that church area out with water cannons. So you're using violence to clear out a holy area. And then you send in Trump to do a little speech, and he holds the Bible upside down, so the cross is upside down on the front of it, and starts giving a speech out of the church with an inverted cross. Now, that's pretty damning, in all fairness, isn't it? That one. It's the brand across the forehead of his supporters. It's the Make America Great Again on the hat. The mark of the beast, they will brand you on the hand or the forehead. And you can tell a rabid Trump supporter by the hat, can't you? The mark of Trump on their forehead.
Them fucking hats. Made in China as well, weren't they?
Some of them. The ones that most people wore, yes, but some were made in America, because I've looked this up again, actually. Some were made in America, they were the more expensive. A lot of people wore the made in China ones, yeah. They were a lot cheaper. But some were official Trump merchandise, sold in the official shop. Trump Towers.
So what does Make America Great Again, MAGA, what does that actually stand for then?
Well, it's bullshit. It's just a slogan that
But it was
makes
like
people hark back to the
magic
time.
and
Make
it's
America
for
great
magic,
again.
was it?
You know, they were the superpower after the Second World War. They were the #1 country. Now it's them and China neck and neck.
I was wondering if, what's the word I'm looking for, like an anagram abbreviation of something else. What I don't know what I'm trying to...
Said earlier that it means magic or sorcerer.
Yeah, but is that what that whole MAGA means then? Magic or sorcerer? Is that what that meant? I was trying to...
Well, secretly it could mean that, couldn't it?
That's what I was trying to work out. In that Make America Great Again, MAGA, was that actually an anagram for something completely different? And to make these people blindly wear it...
Yeah.
It was like, we can make America great again, that fits. Do
And the mark of the
you know
beast
what
on
I
the
mean?
forehead, isn't it?
Mate, I'm very tired today, I do apologise. I've had a long day at work. But yeah, that's what I was trying to get to, kind of thing.
He's built back better at the moment, isn't it? What's
Which
all
is
that?
the same as
BBB.
Biden.
BBB.
It look like sixes, don't they?
Well, that's exactly what I was about to
Well,
say.
Biden
There
was
you
one.
go.
That
Oh
was
my
the
god, a
slogan.
B really does look like a 6 as well. Oh my god. Oh my god! Yeah, so Bill Britain Better, whatever it is. Bill Back Better.
Either way, you voted for the Satanists.
Bill Back Better, non-capital B's, that's fucking 666.
Yeah.
Shit the bad Fred.
There you go.
And there we have it. The Antichrist is amongst us, maybe, possibly.
Well, I've become a believer after tonight, for fuck's sake. I ain't gonna sleep, man.
I'm still joining that fucking host of angels led by the guy with the flaming sword, though.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm on his side, man.
Because it's like he's gonna win, isn't he?
I'm not joining Drumpf. Donald Drumpf.
He's not gonna lead the armies of hell, Mike. He's got bone spurs. Is he? He's gonna lead them. Oh, he would actually. He would have a nice looking Napoleonic general's uniform, wouldn't he? The American version.
Sat on a big black
Sat
horse.
on a big horse, yeah, you know, he would. Or stood on a tank.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
a throne that people are.
Holding
Demons
it.
are holding.
Demons are holding, maybe. Maybe.
And he'd be at the back.
Somewhere at the back.
With a woman whose pussy he's grabbing.
Yes.
Oh,
And on that
dear.
bombshell, let's end the show. I've been Ben. Thank you very much for listening. Don't drink the flavour aid, don't join a cult, and I'd like to add, Hail Satan.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, may the force be with you.
I've been Claire, keep an open mind, but not so open that it spills out your ears.
I've been Pete. Aim low, shoot high.